Hey, everyone. Sherry Jennings coming to you. And I am super excited about today. And for those of you who are new to me, my name is Sherry Jennings. I love helping women navigate their journey through menopause, but naturally without using isoflavins or hormone replacement, and really just learning how all the ins and outs of menopause, and especially with weight loss. If you've been following me, you know that drinking water is so important on your journey for so many different reasons. But in weight loss, how it just flushes your body, gets rid of the toxins, and just helps increase your metabolism. And making sure you're drinking enough water every day is really important during menopause because it flushes out all that stuff and helps reduce inflammation. But I never really knew how much the types of water can affect you as well, specifically pH. Like I didn't know that just my own tap water could actually be causing more harm. So I met both of these lovely ladies who are experts when it comes to the type of water that you're drinking. And I'm going to introduce them very soon. And, learning why pH is so important. So I'm going to let them talk all about it. And I wanted to interview them so I could bring this knowledge to you because it's really important that the type of water that you're drinking makes a big difference, and how it can actually, even the type of water, maybe the wrong type of water, could be hindering your health journey. So let me introduce them. This is Andrea and Sil. They're amazing women. Like I said, they're the experts when it comes to this. So ladies, could you do me a favor and just introduce yourself to everyone and just give your story? Like, how did you get involved in learning about water and promoting like the types of water that, you should be drinking?
So I was probably like most of you women out there, always searching for the best food, the best quality water. And what happened was over 6 years ago, when my mom was diagnosed with cancer, I was trying to research how to heal cancer. I wanted to know everything about it. And long story short, I went down the rabbit hole of natural holistic healing, and the topic of water came up a lot. At this time, I was a police officer in Toronto. I wasn't thinking about, changing careers anytime soon. I loved my job. I was going to work my 30 years, get my pension, retire. But, life definitely had a different plan for me. And when I started looking into cancer treatments, trying to help my mother, that's when I discovered the topic of water. And I don't know about you guys, but I've always been the type of person that drank a lot of water. I was always that girl with my water bottle. I was always drinking water. My friends would always make fun of me, like, oh, there's Sil with her water. And I was always like trying to quench my thirst, and I was always thirsty, and I was always, looking for the best water. And I switched from like Brita, reverse osmosis. I tried not to buy plastic bottled water. So I was always like, exploring different filters. So then when I saw a presentation in Toronto over 6 years ago now, it was a gentleman named Robert Wright, who's the founder of the American Anti-Cancer Institute. He wrote a book called Killing Cancer, Not People. And he was promoting his book and doing this big seminar in Toronto. So I was fascinated, and I met a woman who had told me how she healed her breast cancer. And I don't want to make medical claims, but essentially with natural remedies. And I was like, okay, I'm in. I need to know all about this. So I went to this conference, met Robert Wright. He wrote a whole chapter in his book about this water, this specific water, this technology, this brand. And he's in no way affiliated with it. He just simply has the amazing results with it. And he now promotes this water to all his cancer patients. And he's helped heal hundreds of thousands of people. So I myself then saw a presentation where they presented literally visually what is the difference between this water, reverse osmosis, distilled, bottled water, sodas, sparkling waters. And it's right there. You see it. You're like, wow, I can't believe I was never taught this, because we aren't. When you look at water, it just looks clear. It all looks the same. But when you actually start doing the testing for it, like we do the ORP, the negative charge in millivolts of water, we do the pH test, which we're measuring the potential of hydrogen in that water, right? Because hydrogen is a gas. And unfortunately, with tap water, bottled water, it dissipates. Gas cannot be preserved. It once had hydrogen, but of course, hydrogen is a gas and it will eventually be gone. Just like when you carbonate water, as soon as you open that water, that gas will eventually go flat and it won't be carbonated anymore. So that's how my journey began. I started doing a lot of research. I got my machine not to do this as a career. I was simply interested in changing my own water. And when I started drinking this water, right away, I noticed immediate results because I knew my body. I knew how to listen to my body. I was an overall healthy person, but I did have chronic back pain, which after 3 weeks, my back pain went away. I lost weight really rapidly without even changing my diet. I just changed my water. I wasn't as hungry anymore just because, of course, we're not really hungry, we're thirsty. So the body doesn't know the difference, and we're always reaching for food, trying to satisfy the body needs. So that's how it started for me. And the rest is history. We've helped almost over 2,000 people on our team in over 10 countries just by simply educating them. We're not about, hey, buy this system, it's the best for you. We're like, hey, here's the research. Come take a look at how this could benefit you. Come take a
Mhm.
look at our live presentation. You can come try the water. You can come test your own water and see what we're actually looking for. And then we can get into how this water is different than any other water. But essentially, yeah, it's changed my life. I left policing after 18 months of getting my machine. And this is my passion now, is just educating people about something they don't know about, where I know it has a huge effect on humanity, but also our environment, where we can eliminate all the plastic. We even travel with our water and our machine. So it's a huge, huge toll off of nature, with all the plastic waste we have today. So that's pretty
That's
much how I got
awesome.
involved.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Andrea, tell us about how you got involved in educating other people about water, because I'm learning so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really is fascinating, and very much like Sylvia, I have been a health junkie my entire life. And like Sylvia, I was very careful about what I put in my body, the type of water that I drank. And I too thought I was good just with my filters. I was not a plastic bottle girl, but I was doing the Britas and then upgrading those filters. And then I was introduced to this water 3 years ago. And for me, it was basically my energy shifted, which I've always had an issue with energy, despite how healthy I am. And I know a lot of that was hormonal because I went into perimenopause very early in my 30s. So I struggled with energy no matter how much, how clean I was eating, how much good sleep I was getting. Like everyone who knows me knows I protect my sleep. But in
Mhm.
2020, I was introduced to this water, and right away I felt the energy. And like Sylvia too, my weight evened out for the first time in a very long time. I've always struggled with, that extra 5 or 10 pounds, or as we get older as women, and things creep up on you. But the energy, the weight loss, my digestion, because you do go through a bit of a detox, even if you're super healthy. And it was just a game changer for me, having this in my home in Toronto, working a very busy, stressful career in real estate. And like Sylvia said, you finally feel hydrated. Your appetite just evens out because we're not hungry very often. We're just thirsty and dehydrated. So it was, like Sylvia, very natural for me to want to share this as I continued to personally experience it, but also research it and learn more about it. A light bulb just went off. And I said, I just need to share this information. And like Sylvia, my father was diagnosed with cancer early this year. He's got a machine now. He just got his cancer-free news when I was back visiting him. So amazing. I'm so
That is
grateful to our
awesome.
team and for this water. And yeah, so now it is our passion to go out and share this with as many people as possible.
Oh my
And I
gosh,
will
that is
say
awesome.
I'm in my 50s now. I am completely off all my bioidenticals. I don't take any hormones at all. And I'm living with vitality and energy like I didn't have when I was in my 30s.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. And, I'm glad that you brought that up because, a lot of people that, in my audience, we are all looking for solutions, natural solutions to menopause, perimenopause, because it is no joke. I mean, some people have a very, a big struggle. I know I did. That's what got me interested in this and, led to my certification in menopause health. But, can you talk more about, because you both said that this has really helped you using this specific water. You said how it's increased your energy. You're feeling so, awesome from it. Menopause, perimenopause, like it's like your body goes through this inflammatory state, in your gut, in your muscles. I mean, your whole body, you're tired all the time. You feel lousy. I would love for you to explain, either of you, a little bit more of how this water, how is it working specifically for someone who is in perimenopause going into menopause, that how it's reducing inflammation in the body that's reducing a lot of the symptoms.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you actually take a look at the studies for hydrogen gas, it is actually the smallest, lightest, most bioavailable antioxidant in the universe. And the problem is we are not getting enough of what our body needs from today's diet, from all the food that we have today. Everything is processed. Everything has, pesticides on it, which are all hormone disruptors. Even tap water has a lot of chemicals, chlorine, again, hormone disruptors, plastic. So we're living kind of in this toxic bubble. So we can't really get away from civilization, from what we have access to. But what we know is that when you drink water, let's say you were living in the forest and you had natural spring water flowing, this water, because you're 75% water, if you were to drink that water on a regular basis, enough of that water for your body type, you would be able to rebalance your body, because hormonal changes, different things that happen to us, are simply imbalances that go on in our body. So when you have water that's able now to balance you properly, because it has the right properties, it has antioxidants, it has the right structure, because it's able to penetrate right into your cells, which are positively charged, and the water is negatively charged. So it goes in like a magnet, 6 times faster absorption than any other water, you name it, filtered water, Berkey, the fanciest brand of water out there. It doesn't compare, because it has a positive charge. So it doesn't have the right structure, doesn't have the right frequency, the energy. And a lot of the water today that people are drinking, unfortunately, is in plastic. And also, the water is heavily processed. And what people don't realize, that purified water can actually be even worse for us, because you're not getting the minerals that your body needs. The trace minerals that we need, the most alkalizing minerals, are calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium, and iron, which are found in water. So why are we taking them away from water? That's very important. And water has memory. So as soon as you start drinking other types of water and it's acid, water has memories. It's going to pull those minerals from your joints, from your body, to make itself whole again and make itself right, leaving your body to reap the consequences of that, right? Leaving your body out of balance. And also, because the water has a different structure, it's kind of like throwing, I always use this analogy. Like, let's say we're throwing rocks through a chain link fence. They're not going to penetrate. But now with this water, because it's restructured with electricity and ionization, you're throwing sand through a chain link fence. So everything is penetrating, everything is going in, and it's working, right?
That makes a lot of sense. So the water that you're drinking from your tap or bottled water, since it's positively charged, it's just going through your system and nothing's going where it needs to go, into your tissues, your muscles, and all the organs in your body that need that water to function at its optimal place, right?
It's actually putting a toll on your body, because on top of it not absorbing properly, it has all the added chemicals, especially chlorine, that now your body has to deal with. So it has to deal with so many different things. Like, here's water coming in. Oh my God, I got to get rid of all these chemicals. Now I can't even absorb this. So then it sits in your stomach, then it sits in your kidneys, and then it taxes. That's why people can die from drinking too much of that kind of water, because it's taxing your kidneys, your liver, all your organs, and it's just too much for your body to filter and eliminate.
Gotcha. And a lot of those chemicals too, they just stay in your body, which I can see how they can be definitely hormone disruptors and create more imbalances for sure. So now, is there a certain pH that we're seeing in our tap water, bottled water versus ionized water? Like, what? Speak a little bit about the difference of that and why we want to be drinking ionized water.
So pH is potential of hydrogen. A lot of people confuse it with alkaline or acid. Potential of hydrogen means that it has hydrogen gas in it, and the byproduct of high pH water is alkalinity. So in nature, when I've tested spring waters around the world, they're always alkaline. They're around 9 pH, 9.5, 8.5 pH. They're very alkaline for the body when you test it. Water that is in tap water, acidity regulated water, anywhere around the world. I mean, in Mexico, in Europe, it's regulated by the government, and it's about a 7, which is a neutral. And the reason for that is that they're adding lye and other chemicals to make sure that it's not acid water, so that it doesn't damage the pipes, so that the pipes don't rust from the acid. So they're not doing it for our health. They're simply treating the water so that it's good enough to go through the pipes and not basically have them, changing the pipes every 5 years or whatever. So it's always going to be a neutral. It's regulated. In bottled water, usually the water is more acidic because they're taking away a lot of the minerals. So a lot of the bottled water that we're testing, it's about a 5 or 6 pH. Your blood is 7.4. It's actually alkaline. So when your blood is alkaline and it's 90% water, why are we putting acid water into our blood? You see what I'm saying? Like our blood needs to be alkaline, but when we're constantly putting acid into our body, our blood is going to be pulling minerals from other parts of our body to make sure our blood is always alkaline. Otherwise, we'll die. It will do whatever it takes to maintain its alkalinity. So most of the commercial brands out there are about a 5 or 6 pH, very acid, which it's a logarithmic scale, which means it's about 1,000 times more acidic than your blood. Pop and sparkling waters are about 3 pH, 2-3 pH is like the pops and all that, which is very acidic. That's like 10 or 100,000 times more acidic than your blood. So we want to have water that resembles nature's water, but we don't want to make the alkalinity with baking soda or other chemicals, because there's no point in doing that. You're just you might be tricking the water into looking alkaline, but it's still not the water that our body needs. It's not about the alkalinity. It's all about the negative ions, the negative charge, which is created through the ionization process. And that's why this water has a shelf life. You can't bottle it and sell it. It can only be good for 24 to 48 hours. Otherwise, it will die. So think of this as living water, and then there's dead water. So when we're bringing our water back to life, you have to drink it within a certain period of time. It's like an apple. When you take it, you're not going to eat it a month later. But that's what we're doing with bottled water. We're taking water that was once good, right? And then we're eating it or drinking it 2 months later when it's already dead. So water is a nutrient. It's the strongest nutrient. It's just no different than our fruits and vegetables. It needs to be alive. So that's what we're doing with the machine. We're bringing it back to life, and we're drinking it when it has those negative ions. Does that make sense?
Makes total sense. And, you don't ever think about water being dead or alive, but now it just makes me think, oh my gosh, all these bottles of water that I've drank in the past from the store in plastic, where I'm like, gosh, was I drinking dead water? Did I just didn't know. I didn't know. I just thought, like, I am drinking water. I'm doing the right thing. So I would love for either of you to talk a little bit more specifically about menopause. And you both said that this helped you lose a lot of weight. Okay. So obviously there's something there. Okay. Because, that's something, especially people, as you get into your later years and you get more visceral fat, it becomes harder with our metabolism. It drastically decreases. Like, we all get the belly fat. And that's one of the biggest, probably number one complaint of all my clients is the belly fat and feeling low energy. So how does ionized water, I should say living water, help someone who is in menopause deal with those two issues, the lack of energy and the weight loss? How is that working? And, so that way they can see if this is something that would be a fit for them.
Andrea, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. I mean, just because I have been through it as well, and Sylvia is a wee bit younger than I am. But yeah, I mean, a big part of this water is the absorption, as Syl touched on earlier. So we're going to geek out for just a little bit here, but we have something called a pyloric sphincter, which is at the bottom of our stomach, and it will only open for true pH. So it will not open for bottled water, for dead water, which is why when you drink things like that, you can get bloated and all sloshy. So what happens when we drink our Kangen water is this pyloric sphincter recognizes it as a true pH and will open, which then allows the water to go directly into our small intestine and it gets absorbed immediately. I can drink an entire liter of water and I can be ready to go out for a run. When I'm playing pickleball, I'll hop off to the side. We're running circles because there is no bloating, there's no sloshing. And that's why you get the energy that you get, which to me makes complete sense. Something is absorbing, like you wouldn't be able to eat enough fruits and vegetables and antioxidants, like the amount that you would have to try and consume. And as we know, the quality today just is not the same as it was 50 years ago. So that's to me where the energy comes from immediately, is just that water in your system. It's electric. We are electric beings. Right.
Mhm.
And as a result, you're balancing everything out. You're balancing out your endocrine system, right? You're balancing out, it starts to break through the blood-brain barrier,
Mhm.
right? And so that's our pituitary gland. That's where everything, starts to balance things out. So what I can say is yeah, the key words are energy and balance. And the weight loss comes through reducing inflammation in the body. Because I think myself personally is once I started actually being able to rid myself of the inflammation in my body, I was like, oh, I'm not fat. I was just inflamed.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
that just starts to melt away naturally. And so that's what happened for me. Like I said, it was always this struggle, with having to watch every single thing. And now what this water has done is it's just balanced out my entire system. My organs aren't working as hard as they used to have to. So our body can finally be back in homeostasis and run as it's meant to, as nature intended to. And to me, we've got the best defense mechanism for what we are up against in this world, no matter how clean and healthy and where you're living. As Sylvia mentioned, we have all these external factors, whether it's sitting in traffic, whether it's environmental, whether it's the microplastics, the processed foods. We now have the best defense. And we always say this is the absolute foundation of health. But this I can say for sure was the number one thing for me at almost 53 years old that has helped me to finally feel like a human being again. And as women, we know the struggle, like it's real.
Oh, it is. It's definitely real. And you brought about inflammation in your body. And I mean, that's one thing that I teach on is inflammation and how that really can affect you, especially when in your menopause and when you're after 40, after you're the age of 40. And I think there's a lot that has to be said about gut health, because I think a lot of that inflammation just stems in your gut. That's your second brain, right? Your bacteria that in there you have more bad than you have good, leads to bloating and everything. Now, drinking this type of water, since you said that it doesn't slosh around in your stomach, it gets into your intestines, that's where it's being absorbed, really. Um, how does that help with bacteria? I mean, is this really something that you're seeing is helping with that gut health factor too? Because I bet with menopause, that's a huge issue. And I think inflammation is one of the big things. 50% is why the weight gain is there, is because of that inflammation piece. So is there any research, or can either of you speak a little bit more about the gut health, that what this water does?
I can only suggest anyone that's on here really looking to dive into gut health is to look up Dr. Hiromi Shinya, who was a world-renowned gastrointestinal specialist, and he practiced in Japan and New York. And he treated like royalty, celebrities, very world-renowned. And he wrote several books called The Enzyme Factor. And he talks about that. And he literally has videos on people, with cancer, with very serious diseases. And he literally goes and shows videos, which you can look up on YouTube, before and after his protocol. And he recommended Kangen water for all his patients and an alkaline diet. And he will not treat you if you don't follow his protocol. So really, at the end of the day, when you think about it, there's either alkaline or acid. There's nothing in between. You can either be too much acid or you can be alkaline, which is what we want. Why a lot of
Mhm.
people do juicing, why a lot of people eat fruits and vegetables, is because not only are you alkalizing the body, which is where the body thrives and what we need, but you're also getting hydration. And most people are dehydrated. So when you're dehydrated, nothing else will properly function.
Mm-hmm.
Your gut enzyme, all that stuff is going to be disrupted when the key element is missing in your body. It's like driving a car without oil or without fuel. It's not going to work very well. It's going to break down. It's going to break the engine.
Which makes
So
sense. So then
yeah.
everything you're saying goes back to that basics that you talked about earlier, is the positive or negative charge, where you want to have the alkalinity and consuming that, because
We just
everything
need
in your
the right
body.
water. We just need the right water. And unfortunately, we don't have the right water because of marketing, all these multi-billion-dollar companies making so much money on us in marketing, where really simply put, we just need to drink natural spring water, which unfortunately we don't have access to. So here we have a company that created machines that can replace, and basically Kangen means return to origin. So all it's doing is it's giving us this type of water that we simply don't have access to, just like other technology has given us things that we don't have access to anymore. You know what I mean? It's just
Perfect.
technology giving us what we need. And that's where I think people need to really understand and see the presentation to understand that there is a difference in water, just like there's a difference in liquors and wines. It's how they're made. It's what's used to make them. You can make wine with real grapes, or you can make wine with
Juice.
packaged juice.
Powders,
So,
right?
and that's where we have to shift our mindset that, when you drink the right water, it's like it's everything falls into place. It's all about your blood. When your blood is good, everything else is good. We need to make sure our blood is perfect.
Awesome. Now, you both have referred to this machine. Okay. So tell everyone, what is this machine? And I mean, obviously this machine makes the alkaline water that you're talking about. So how do you get one of these machines? And is it something that you're using every day? Do you hook it up to your faucet? Like, how does that work?
I'll take this one. Yes, our machines without the filter weigh 7 pounds. We have a beautiful unit. It sits on your countertop for the most part and can attach to almost any faucet. We always like to see what we're dealing with beforehand. Either it will adapt to the straight faucet or the vegetable sprayer that comes out the side. It produces well beyond our drinking waters, and this is why we always invite everyone to come to the longer demonstration. But this will replace basically everything in your home as far as your cleaning, your laundry detergents. It's like having a hospital in your home. The amount of waters that it produces. We have, I think, upwards of 100 different uses for the water itself. So this goes far beyond what you're just ingesting as far as drinking water goes. And for getting a machine, you would just simply either contact Sylvia or myself, because we are the distributors. Everything is done directly through us. And we would arrange, just depending on what country you're in, because we are an international company, of every machine is made in Japan, and then they are shipped directly to the closest distribution center.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, is this something that just goes, I mean, you say you can use it for multi-purposes other than, I mean, I know we're talking about weight loss, menopause, and things like that. Is this something that goes in your main water supply to your house, or is this something that just goes underneath your kitchen sink?
So that's a great question. So it hooks up to your faucet. So it's not running through the whole home. We actually do have a shower filtration system as well, which will turn your shower into a spa, which is incredible. And Sylvia has one and has had one for many years. But yeah, this attaches to, most people will put it in the kitchen because, as we know, everything needs to be in sight. And then it's just a simple little switch, whether you're switching from your tap water, if you're doing dishes, and then you're switching the machine on, you're going into the different pHs. I don't even think we've touched on a super important one. We make an 11.5 pH, which is our strong Kangen water, which emulsifies oil and gets rid of the pesticides on your fruits and veggies. So that was a huge one for me. And I think anyone who, knows what is going on these days, that is becoming more and more crucial, because even our organic produce is being questioned. And as we know, they continue to come out with newer and greater things. They want to make the fruit all shiny. They're plucking things off when they're not ripe. We're just simply not getting those nutrients. So another really cool thing, which we show in the demo, is exactly how this R11.5 emulsifies oil.
So you can use it for cleaning. It sounds like this would like get rid of a lot of other chemicals in your home.
Absolutely. And that's a big thing that we do talk about. It replaces, part of the demo is the 11.5 will remove grease from a counter, stuck
Yeah.
grease from a stovetop. One of our team members had a cleaning company, and, once her husband found out about the amount of money he could save per year, he was in. And he has a fantastic story himself. Like, he was Gulf War injured, and this took away all of his symptoms. He had suicidal migraines, he had depression, he had anxiety. And I think we know, when we touch on the emotional side of things, again, that's dehydration in the brain, right? So yeah, there is just so much more to this incredible little machine. Yeah, that's why we're so passionate about it.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to actually learn more about how I can get one of these machines. Now, if anyone is interested in learning more, or maybe checking out one of the demonstrations, can you tell everyone how they can get in touch with you, so that way they can be plugged into more information, so they can see if this is something that can help them or be a good fit in their life?
Sure. Sil, do you want to go ahead with that?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook. I'm at the Water Expert One. You can see my content there. I have a lot of educational information, my website, demonstrations. I have a YouTube channel as well. You can also find me, the Water Expert One. And yeah, that's pretty much where you can find me.
Perfect. And then I'll make sure that I put your channels and stuff in the comments, so that way if anyone wants to reach out to Sil, you can, so you can ask more questions, inquire like how this can be something that can help them. Just make sure that you tell her that the menopause nurse is the one who sent you,
Yes.
and that way we can get you plugged into some more information. Now we're going to wrap this up, ladies. I so appreciate you like taking the time to come on and just really be a wealth of knowledge and educate everyone on this, because it was a topic that, I'll be honest, I've been 30 years in healthcare as a nurse and as a provider in anesthesia. And I'll be honest, I didn't know much about this. I mean, and which is sort of sad that I've been in healthcare for so long and I don't know anything about ionization of water. I mean, I know enough to be dangerous, but I didn't know how it affected your body and can help you heal on many different levels. Like, I didn't even know about the whole cancer. I mean, I just wanted to talk to them about menopause and how this could help someone going through hormone imbalance. So what can you leave, those who are watching, just some just to sum it up of like why this can be something that can be really detrimental in their health, in their career, in their life, and not just their lives, but their family.
Andrea, you want to take this?
Yeah, I mean, like you, Sherry, I just think honestly, it is our goal just to continue to educate people, and we have seen the difference firsthand in what switching to this water will do, not only internally, emotionally, spiritually. That's why so many of us have now made this our mission to educate as many as we can and leave our careers. And like with the doctors and the nurses who didn't know about this, and it really is, it's just a matter of getting that information out there and really just educating people and letting them make the decision. But we know, once this machine gets into their home, the benefits for the entire family, including our fur babies, pets, thrive on this. It really is. And it is a certified medical device. I don't know if we've talked about that. So it will last you well over 20 years. And the initial investment will pay off in dividends in every single way.
Awesome. And I'll have more questions for you because I know I'm going to have a lot of people ask me whether their insurance will help cover the cost of this too, since it's considered a medical device. So well, that's another conversation that we can have. I don't want to keep us too long. So did you have any comments that you want to wrap this up with?
I just want to say that, this has completely changed my life on every level, mentally, spiritually, financially. I'm able to travel the world now. I get to enjoy living in Mexico and Poland and Europe, which I would have never been able to do. I retired at the age of 35. So it was a dream I always had. And it just really made it possible. So I always tell people, just have an open mind, just come and learn. Don't listen to anything we're saying. Just come and see it for yourself. Check out the research, check out the information, try the water, and really go based on that and your gut instinct, not what you read on Google, because a lot of that can be misleading also. There's a lot of other companies that are hungry, that they want to sell their own products. So, they're out there to confuse you. So at the end of the day, you buy their product. But realistically, if you want to learn more, this is all scientifically proven. You can see it on PubMed and Google Scholar, and literally just seeing the demonstration will give you all the answers you're looking for instead of reading about it. You're going to see it firsthand.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thank you, ladies. I so appreciate your time and educating all of us, because it's definitely something that I think we need to get the word out about. This is going to help so many different people. So again, guys, if you have any questions, please reach out to them. They're the experts. If you can't find them, just let me know and I'll make sure that I get you plugged into them so we can get you some more information. So thank you so much. And I appreciate your time. I'm going to wrap this up. So everyone, I'll put, again, I'm just going to reiterate, we're going to put all their links and their contact information in the comments so that way you can reach out to them. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me as well. So thanks so much for tuning in, and take care. We'll talk to you next time.
Yeah. Thank you so much for getting this out.
Welcome.
Okay. All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.